It is 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 o'clock in the morning in the West on Wednesday, October 13th. And from CNN Center in Atlanta, this is CNN Today. Hello, I'm Donna Kelly. Lou and Natalie are both off for this hour. Cancer claims, on average, 1 life per minute in the United States. New therapies offer greater chances of survival, but the grim reality is that well over 500,000 Americans will die this year from the disease. That's roughly 1,500 people per day, about 60 every hour. On top of that, another 1.2 million people in the United States will come down with some form of the disease this year. And you can add another 1 million new cases of skin cancer to that total. The fact is that cancer remains the second leading cause of death in the United States behind heart disease. And now there is word of a promising new development that could dramatically improve the odds of survival for many people. CNN's medical correspondent Dr. Steve Salvatore has that story.
In a medical first, researchers say they have bred mice genetically resistant to cancer. Dr. Robert Benezra and his colleagues have identified and disabled 2 genes necessary for angiogenesis, the formation of blood vessels that cancers need to grow and spread.
So far, every cancer that we supplanted under the skin of the animal resisted growth and development by virtue of the fact that the blood vessels were not forming properly.
In the experiment, doctors injected mice under the skin with cancer cells. Those who had the so-called id genes shut off failed to develop cancer.
In most cases, depending on which tumor cell line that we're using, the tumors fail to grow and the mice survive as if a mouse never got the tumor cells in the beginning. So they have a normal lifespan.
The id genes are vital to development. As a fetus grows, the genes are essential to form blood vessels, but are rarely needed or expressed in adulthood.
The fact that they're at very, very low levels in the adult means that we have the possibility of activating them in an adult and have very few side effects.
So what does this mean for people? Researchers say the next step is to see if they can inhibit the growth of tumors in mice bred to develop cancer the way people do. But they warn it's a big step from mice to humans, and more studies are needed.
Whether or not that translates to the types of cancers that people normally get, which are due to predispositions and/or mutations, that's something that we're investigating now. We don't know the answer to that yet.
But if successful, researchers would then try to develop drugs to work with angiogenesis inhibitors.
Our approach would actually be to target the targets of angiostatin and endostatin as perhaps a complementary strategy for blocking blood vessel formation.
Now, the researchers at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center say they believe this is only the tip of the iceberg and say there may be other proteins linked to the id gene, other potential weapons, Donna, in the fight against cancer.
Dr. Salvatore, we're talking about mice here. How soon can we hope to see something for people?
Well, the researchers are only now studying their theory in mice bred to develop cancer like people do, and they expect to have those results in about 6 months. So these studies are very preliminary, and it will probably be years before a treatment is available. So we can't say for sure when a treatment will be available for people just yet. And remember, Donna, many mouse cancer studies don't pan out in humans. But what this research does tell us is that we're on to something big, and that alone is exciting because we're definitely pointing in the right direction.
That's great. Good. Dr. Steve Salvatore, thanks very much. The development of cancer resistance in mice comes on the foundation of countless hours of cancer research over many, many years. We'll take a closer look at some of those milestones at the bottom of this hour.